Hey guys, this is Brad and Mike from Dallas Geek, and today we're going to be talking about Disney live-action remakes of classic animated films. In recent memory, we've already had Cinderella remade, we had Sleeping Beauty remade with Maleficent, we had Jungle Book, we had Beauty and the Beast, and... wasn't there a fifth one that we were just talking about?
Possibly, maybe. Those are the four that immediately come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, we already know that they're in the process of casting for Aladdin. They announced that they are going to do Little Mermaid and then put it on the back burner after they lost their lead actress and I think director. And they're talking about doing live action Lion King and live action 101 Dalmatians. Again.
Yeah.
So...
and then Mulan. They're doing a live action Mulan.
Yep, they announced that too. So I guess it really comes down to, are these necessary? I mean, the original animated are classics for a reason. They've been classics for some of them up to decades. For Snow White, over half a century.
Yep.
So... I mean, yes, you could say update for the times visually, but at the same time, if it's a true classic, is that necessary?
Right.
Or is it just a cash grab?
Well, that's just it. Like, so for some of them, I think it's more just like a director really loved the movie growing up, so they probably just wanted to do it.
Jungle Book being the best example.
For Favreau, yeah. And then... and
that was pretty kick-ass, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I haven't seen it yet. I heard it's really awesome.
It's the CGI and motion capture is incredibly impressive.
But like for Beauty and the Beast, Bill Condon, I think like his first job in Hollywood was like an assistant on Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And so I think when that opportunity came, he basically jumped at it.
Yep.
And they're not like total remakes. Like they do add stuff. Like for Beauty and the Beast, I think they added like 3 new songs.
Yeah.
For Jungle Book, I didn't see, but I think they added some stuff in there as well, from what I understand.
I'm suddenly drawing a blank, but I feel like the answer should be yes.
So, like, I think probably more than anything, this is just... I don't necessarily think it's a cash... well, it's a cash grab on Disney's part, let's be honest. If Disney can make more money, they're going to make more money.
I mean, Beauty and the Beast could easily be seen as a cash grab, because I don't think anybody was clamoring for a live-action Beauty and the Beast.
You shut your whore mouth. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, the live-action Aladdin and Mulan, you could easily say, yeah.
Aladdin is so overrated. I'm so tired of hearing about Aladdin.
No. I'm saying you could easily say that people deserve a live-action version of those.
Why?
Because Aladdin was popular enough to have 3 movies and a TV show, and Mulan
how did the other 2 movies go? How'd the TV show go?
They lasted a while.
You want to talk about cash grabs?
They lasted a while, but I mean,
direct to DVD, huh?
Especially when you have already had.
I guess at that point it would have been direct to VHS.
You still have their contributions to the ongoing conversation that's been going on about Hollywood whitewashing, that you can easily say, well, these are movies that are already in the public mind that are perfect opportunities to give actors that we wouldn't normally see in leading roles be given front and center attention with stuff that you know for a fact people are going to see, and even if the movies only come out so, it gives new actors an opportunity to really take front and center for other movies after that.
Yeah, but
which to that extent, I'm okay with, because there are some actors that I keep seeing in like every other film that I would be okay seeing some different faces in there instead of the same 5.
Yeah, but you want to talk about Beauty and the Beast and whether or not there was a huge clamoring for it. Like, it did have, I think, the biggest March opening of all time.
And I can't really argue against that.
Biggest March run of all time.
And I can't argue against that one. I mean,
so I guess people did want to see it.
I mean, even the people that would go in and say, oh, well, they added these extra musical numbers, they weren't necessary, can turn to The Lion King as precedent to say, well, yeah, but the animated Lion King had X number of musical numbers, but then you go to see it on Broadway and it has more.
Yeah.
including the ones from the movie. So it's not like this is an unforeseeable thing the second you go live action.
Right.
So it makes sense. And that part I don't have a problem with. I don't even see that as evidence of it being a cash grab, to add new content. It just kind of gives a little extra something to call its own.
Yeah. I guess my biggest complaint would be, like, a lot of people will say, like, well, this is a way to introduce it to a new generation of fans. And it's like, no. Go watch the original.
Yeah. I mean, the animated ones are still perfect, even to be introduced to kids that have never seen it before. I mean,
Beauty and the Beast.
They're amazing.
Beauty and the Beast is the only animated. If I could talk today, Jesus. It's the only animated film to ever be nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
True science fact, look that shit up. And it's the greatest Disney film of all time.
Yeah.
Again, true science fact, look it up.
So
like, for people to sit there and be like, oh, well, we can, I'm like, dude, only cartoon to be nominated for Best Picture. I think it's okay to show that to your kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, you really do have to...
I mean, we'll just ignore the fact that the dresser basically murders the hell out of somebody in it, but,
Yeah. But, I mean, you'd still have to look at it and say, even still, is the live action a cash grab? I mean, is there need for... I mean, yeah, there might be desire for from some people to have it, but is there an actual need for it to become live action?
Like, when they announced that there was going to be a live action Beauty and the Beast, I squealed like a 13-year-old girl. That is my favorite animated Disney movie of all time.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, to see a new to see a new spin on it, I was like, if anything, I just get to see a new version of it.
So, my thoughts on the cash grabbiness of it is really, will the live action version actually add dimensions to the story? And, like, for example, the additional scenes, the additional content that Beauty and the Beast live action gave compared to the animated, I do think that it contributed enough to validate it, even if not everybody thought it was necessary. But though it was just across the line for me, though, because there was enough shot-for-shot remake pieces that you're left going, it doesn't feel quite original enough. It's kind of like the early 2000s shot-for-shot remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job at redoing the original, but you did not make enough difference to justify it.
Like, that's where, and to me, that's where it goes back to, is it a cash grab? Well, from a studio standpoint, yeah, because
it's always going to be from a studio.
The only way that they're going to put out a movie is if they think it's going to make money.
Yeah.
Duh. But like I said, for me, more than anything, I think it's directors and writers loving stories from their childhood and wanting to get to make it again.
Okay. Well, the thing that I want to see for the next iterations of live-action Disney remakes of the animated versions is... I want to see, I know some people will consider it to be sacrilege, but I want to see some additional unique content for the live action version that makes the live action version feel different and feel more unique to itself rather than just a retreading of what's already been. Like for Aladdin or Mulan, I want to see some additional scenes. I want to see, hell, make it a shot-for-shot remake, but give me completely different perspectives from the camera work so it at least looks different. Even if every piece of dialogue is different or is the same, give me different camera angles at the very least so I can feel like I'm watching something new and unique. It just make it have its own tone, have its own unique identity, so it's not just, oh, I saw Mulan. Oh, which one? I want to be able to feel like this is something different and special. That's it.
I could do without Aladdin. Like, period.
You just have a really hard problem with Aladdin.
I think that movie is horrifically overrated. I really do.
Are you trying to tell me something about what you think about Robin Williams? Because I swear, if you're about to badmouth Robin Williams, I will take you now.
No, Robin Williams was great. To me, that was the only redeeming part of that movie.
You're safe. You're safe.
Like, I legitimately don't see what people see in that movie. I really don't. Sorry, not sorry? Is that the cool thing the kids still say?
Yeah, if you're a 13-year-old girl.
Okay.
No.
Screw it. But, I mean...
Okay, what about Mulan? Or, we forgot the announcement of the live-action, or the remake. It's not really a live-action remake, just the remake of Mary Poppins with Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
I mean, what about Mulan or Mary Poppins? Do you feel like those have any merit, or is it just retreading? I mean, could they have merit?
Never saw Mulan. Yeah, you're not the only person to give me that look.
How do you call yourself a Disney fan if you're missing one of the classics?
Is it really a classic if it's not even like 30 years old?
It's considered one of the quintessentials of the animated library.
Well, yeah, but what year did it come out?
Early 90s, I think.
Okay, so, like, there are people in our generation that don't acknowledge shit if it came out the year before they were born.
Yeah, well, they're losers. Yes, I said it. If you can't accept a classic for a classic because of when it came out, you're an idiot.
I'll get around to it.
Quality is quality.
I'll get around. What was the other one we were talking about? Oh, Mary Poppins. That'll be interesting. Like, it'll be really interesting.
I mean, it's Emily Blunt, and I have yet to be disappointed by her.
I will tell you what movie I actually really loved that didn't get enough love was Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah.
That was great, and that was...
I mean, Tom Hanks as Walt Disney just felt terribly appropriate, even if he might have softened certain qualities of dear old Uncle Walt.
Oh, you mean not talking about the Jews in a bad light?
Or being as harsh with business decisions as he has been traditionally known as.
It's true. It's true. Tom Hanks was a very loving Walt Disney.
Well, Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. Even if he takes on the character, there's still a very Tom Hanks quality about everything he does.
I just remember leaning over to my buddy that I saw it with. I was like, I don't remember Walt Disney being this nice. My buddy was like, oh, he wasn't.
Oh, no, his public persona was. He wasn't.
Yeah.
But...
yes, there was stuff that was going on behind closed doors in that movie. I was like, why do I feel like Walt would be just throwing shit left and right at people at this point?
Because with his employees, he tended to do exactly that.
You're not wrong.
But, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, in the end, can you definitively say if there is ever a reason to do a live-action remake of an anime classic if the animated version was, in fact, perfect in its entirety?
So for me, it's no. But if the movie ends up being a decent movie, I'm not too heartbroken about it.
Okay.
Like, oh, it wasn't as good as the original, but this was still a pretty decent attempt.
Sure.
Like, Beauty and the Beast, I loved Beauty and the Beast. Like, I absolutely loved it.
My biggest problem with Beauty and the Beast was, honestly, the Beast.
Get out. Ian Stevens was amazing.
No, it's not the actor. It's the fact that...
mocap?
Yeah, it's the fact that we have come so far with special effects makeup and prosthetics that could have made a completely believable Beast in real life that I don't feel like the CGI was necessary with him. Yeah, all the other characters, sure, but with him specifically, I feel like they could have gone realistic and made the interactions between him and Emma Watson so much more tangible. That is my biggest problem with that movie. Everything else,
So you're not the only person to say that.
So yeah, but for me, if the live action version contributes something unique to the story, then I think you can easily justify it. But yeah, if it's just a shot-for-shot remake, or mostly a shot-for-shot remake, and doesn't have enough to give it its own unique identity, unfortunately, as much as I love Disney, it's a cash grab. You can't fully justify it otherwise. It's just there's not enough specialness I mean, of the live actions that we've mentioned already, there are really only two that you could justify: Jungle Book and Maleficent, because they both had their own unique tones enough to a point that Maleficent especially, you could say, had such a different tone that it was its own unique thing, kind of like the difference between Wizard of Oz and Wicked. So it had enough justification. But everything else,
Like I said, if the story's good, the acting's good, I'm cool with it.
So, yeah. Well, I guess with that, we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, we're done.
We'll stop ranting for now. But yeah, so this is Brad and Mike from Dallas Geek saying, see ya.